11 by 14. I got to give this its own lesson. Scott M. in our you in the elite group, you know Scott. He's done a million of these things, and I think I showed you these in a couple lessons back here, but he is the pioneer of this. So this is instead of a 9 by 12, which Scott has, he still does 9 by 12s, but he's done, I think, 7 years. I have 2 podcast interviews with him. He's got, 10 kids, I think now? Oh, 11. So he just had one. He's got a lot of kids. He's a full-time teacher, high school teacher. He's got a lot of kids. He's been doing 9 by 12s for like 7 years, 8 years, maybe even longer. But he switched over like a year or 2 years ago to doing mostly 11 by 14s. And he's got a guide coming up. I'm really happy. It took me a long time to get him to actually make a guide. Just detailing, because he didn't think he had anything to offer. But I mean, a guy that has been doing this like pretty much full time while working a full-time job, while having a bazillion kids, more kids than I have, and making this a success. He's been making a really good amount of money. It's worth noting. So I kind of just want to promote Scott's freaking awesome thing. These are 11 by 14s. They're huge. They're a huge piece of paper. They're on a thinner stock, which makes it cheaper. It's not as thick as a 9 by 12. It's not that super high-end gloss, but still works. It's totally fine. It's a 100-pound cover stock. Costs a little bit more, but you're able to, he squeezes a lot of ads on this. Like, you can fit a ton of ads. So his problem, and this may be your problem as well, which was why it deserves a space as a lesson, is that you may end up having more ads than you can like manage. Like, you have more people that want ads and you don't have space for them. You don't want to make super tiny ads. So making a bigger postcard, whether it's 11 by 14 or 12 by 15, it's even bigger. That's the max you can send EDM without folding it. I think it's important to know these aren't folded. Like, at most, they get wrapped up like this, and the mail goes in here. It's like a daco. You can fit more ads. It's more money. If you can fill the spaces, you can make, it comes up to a lot more money. I don't know how much he profits. I think it's like $8,000. I think he makes about $8,000 profit on these. Each one. It's a rather than making a whole other card and then having like only a third of the card, then you got to sell more spaces. If you've done some 9 by 12s for a while and you want to make more money, but you don't want to make a whole other card, this is a good thing to do. This is I can definitely, Scott has proven it. It makes sense to just spend a little more in printing, but get a lot more ads. It's a bigger piece. There's a lot of benefits to it. Make you more money.